Africa, a landmass that covers more than 20% of Earth's livable area and now home to 1.2 billion people. This continent has an abundance of natural resources. Yet, its people suffer daily. With the world's lowest life expectancy rates, Africa has the undesired title of being the most impoverished continent in the world. In 1981, the visionary late Dr. Abdurrahman Hamoud Al Sumait, then a youthful 35, founded the Africa Muslims Agency in Kuwait. Just 6 years thereafter, the late Muhammad Farid Chunara was handpicked to create a presence at the tip of Africa. The establishment of this office, with the assistance of Sheikh Saad Al Talib, was the birth of Africa Muslims Agency in South Africa.
From 1987, when the office started in South Africa, my late dad at that time decided, wait a second, why expect someone from outside the country to come and take responsibility for our challenges? Because then we will always be recipients. We will always be people who are waiting for someone else to bring a solution. He felt, no, let's make the people here aware of what's going on here and in Africa.
Nearly all global humanitarian organizations today recognize Africa as a place in dire need of relief.
We in South Africa here, we were facing our own challenges, of course. Most of us had no idea what was going on beyond our borders in Africa from a poverty perspective. I remember as a young boy going with him to the masjid, for example. We'd come out of the masjid and he would have the combi outside and he would have his big pictures put up outside the combi and a table just to bring awareness to people coming out of the masjid of what was going on in Africa.
Thanks to the generosity of its loyal supporters, Africa Muslims Agency has over the last 30 years brought relief to millions of worthy recipients. Some of these achievements are hard to imagine, like the construction of 6,000 masajid, on average 1 masjid every 2 days, granting Muslims in the remotest villages a communal place to prostrate to their Creator. 20,000 water wells and boreholes, an average of 12 each week, quenching a basic need often taken for granted. Paying the academic fees of over 150,000 students, enabling them to attend classes they otherwise would only have dreamed of. Or the distribution of 20 million Qurans, that's 1,826 Qurans per day. Using this perfect book of life to spread the beauty of Islam. This, amongst the ever-growing list of programs, beneficiaries and projects, many which continue to grow at a rapid pace.
It becomes overwhelming. If you want to change a whole country or let's change the whole continent, okay, yeah. How does it start? Our strength lies in sustainable projects, in developmental sustainable projects. Why? Because we do feel strongly that as much as there's a need for that just the release of the bottleneck where everybody comes together because the media focuses on something, when the media leaves an area, it doesn't mean people are back to normal.
Africa Muslims Agency creates programs that continue to benefit communities for many years after the initial donation. These programs are carefully designed to have a compounding positive impact on recipients. The result is that seemingly simple acts of giving have effects far beyond our imagination.
Which means when you put a water well somewhere, you now have given that whole village. You've given them, they can grow their crops better, they can give their animals water, they can drink water, they can bath, they can wash, they can make wudu. There's different things, but more importantly, the kids go back to school. So long term, you are developing this community by putting that water well, not just giving them water.
لن تنالوا البر حتى تنفقوا مما تحبون وما تنفقوا من شيء فإن الله به عليم
Mankind is instructed in the glorious Quran to give. Our giving serving us both in this life and the hereafter. Africa Muslims Agency is fortunate to be a channel through which thousands of donors can reach millions of recipients. Each one a part of Allah's glorious plan, a plan in which the daily struggles of the less privileged serve as a test.
When I see Africa Muslims Agency and I see the people we work with and I see the donors and connecting the donors to the recipients, I see Allah's plan come together, in my view anyway, of people helping each other and worshipping our Creator in the process.
Recent studies show that most Africans are Muslim. Sadly, the majority are living in poor conditions. Water remains a key vulnerability, and for most regions across Africa, this problem is not only due to physical water scarcity, but due to a lack of infrastructure. This economic water scarcity is a problem that can be solved. Further, a worrying 65% of Muslims in Africa have no formal schooling, an undesirable record which far overshadows that of any other religious group on the continent.
For 30 years, that's just the foundation. By the grace of Allah, beyond all of us, this will continue to grow as a skyscraper and beyond.
What does this mean for all of us? For those who are able to give, it means that our responsibility continues. For Africa Muslims Agency, this means the work has only just begun.